What's up guys, how's it going? In this video I wanted to talk a little bit about Mario Galaxy and basically how it's a really easy game. It's been interesting playing this again on the 3D All-Stars collection on Switch. I originally played this game, as I'm sure many of us did, when it first came out on the Wii, and you know, my memories of it, I remember it being an easy game, but replaying it now, yeah, it seems a lot easier than I remembered it being, at least for the first half of the game. Because the game is almost divided up into two halves, with, you know, I say the first half, that's essentially playing through until the final fight with Bowser and seeing it through till the end credits. And then after that, there's a load of post-game content offered up, with extra challenges, but a lot of it is revisiting the same places you've already been, same galaxies and levels. And yeah, playing through it on the 3D All-Stars collection, I'm just finding it way too easy. It'll be interesting to see when I get to the post-game stuff, to see whether it offers up more of a challenge, because right now, even though I'm having a great time with the game, you know, it still holds up really well. There are a few things that, like the camera, that haven't stood the test of time as well. But overall, it's, you know, it still is a stellar game. It still is, you know, what I consider a timeless classic, as many of the Mario games are. Still looks great, still plays great. It's just yes, a fantastic experience. But it's just a shame, it feels like it's let down a little bit by the difficulty or lack thereof in the game. It feels like this was kind of a consequence of the game being on the Wii, because of course with Nintendo releasing the Wii, they were trying to corner that casual gamer market, which was almost something that they invented themselves. And what the casual gamer market was them trying to get people who didn't normally play video games and wouldn't normally buy video games and video game consoles, and draw them in and hopefully convert them into being gamers. Really what ended up happening in most cases was that, you know, you ended up with like a bunch of families, like everybody had a Wii in their living room with Wii Sports, but they didn't ever, you know, they just sat there gathering dust after 6 months to a year, and they might have bought a few games, but you know, they certainly weren't converted into being gamers. You know, like your grandparents who bought a Wii, they might have bought Wii Sports and Wii Fit, but yeah, beyond that, I don't think the tactics there entirely played out maybe how Nintendo hoped they would. But it certainly invented, you know, the casual gamer market. Well, that's new. I've never had that happen to me before. It's funny me talking about this being an easy game and then that happens. But yeah, I'm not entirely focusing on playing this level. But yeah, you know, I'm having a great time with this game. It's like I said, it's a fantastic experience. But it's just a shame that it is hampered a little bit by the difficulty or lack thereof. Yeah, the fact that I just don't like the way that Nintendo split the difficulty into two halves the way that they did. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm somebody who, I don't mind easy games to an extent. If it means that, you know, when I spend my hard-earned cash on a game, I want to know that I'm going to be able to get my money's worth out of it. So, you know, that I get a certain amount of playtime out of it, and, you know, if there's a story there, I can experience the whole story, and experience the bulk of the content it has to offer without feeling like, you know, my lack of skill as a gamer is going to stop me from, yeah, experiencing what I paid for. And you know, games are an interesting medium in that respect because you don't have the same thing with, you know, films or music or books. You know, anyone can, yeah, you go see a film, like all you have to do is sit there and watch it. So, you know, it is an interesting medium in that respect. But yeah, I feel like Odyssey, you know, I feel like that game, Nintendo really kind of overall just totally refined, like took everything they learned from making all the previous 3D Mario games, and just yeah, really refined like every sort of asset of the experience, and definitely with the difficulty, it was something that they managed a lot better in Odyssey. I think part of it was helped by the fact that it's more of a kind of collectathon type game. But what that meant was that they were able to, you know, with the Power Moons, you know, you had for every level you went to, there were Power Moons where, yeah, you know, you just kind of, you know, smashed a block or jumped up a ledge or something, and yeah, it was like, here, have a Power Moon. But then for every one of those, there are also many where there was more challenge and more depth there in order to obtain those Power Moons. Yeah, that meant, what that meant essentially was that, you know, a novice gamer and a more skilled gamer could both play through the game and experience the bulk of, you know, the content the game had to offer, play through all the levels, play through till the ending credits. So they were getting largely the same experience and you know, getting the level of difficulty they wanted, but both having the same fresh experiences. With the way that Galaxy does it, even though, yeah, sure, with the you know, post-game harder stuff, it, you know, there are new challenges in the levels you go back to, so it's not entirely like just replaying those levels again. It's not like, you know, just upping the difficulty setting. You are getting new challenges, but you're getting those in the same places you've already been. So it just feels like a bit of a cheap way, you know, just kind of shoehorning that, catering to, you know, the gamers that they still had to cater for, sort of shoehorning that into the latter half of the game. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame because this is, you know, it's an otherwise fantastic game, but just feels a little bit hampered by that. I do realise as well the fact that I've been talking about how easy this game is, and I'm getting my ass kicked by one of the first Bowser fight in the game. But that is because I'm focusing on what I'm saying, and I'm not great at talking and playing at the same time when I have like specific points that I want to follow, which is what I wanted to do with this video. But anyway, yeah, that's all I had to say really on the subject. But I just thought, yeah, you know, I've been playing the game and it's something that I thought was an interesting point of conversation. So, you know, I'd be interested. Yeah, feel free to you know, to leave your comments, and yeah, let's open up it'd be nice to open up a little discussion. And yeah, you know, I'd be interested to hear whether you're bothered by lack of difficulty in games and whether you agree or disagree with what I'm saying. So yeah, you know, if you want to, then drop a comment and we'll open up the conversation. But yeah, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, guys.